I went a couple years where I wasn't earning anything. I was just living off savings.
Yeah.
I ran up my credit cards and
Wow, really?
I ran
Goddamn.
them out. Yeah, I actually, it's not embarrassing because it's part of the journey. So what I did was I dusted all my credit cards up to I skyrocketed them all up to the limit. I cashed them, and I just used that money to live on.
Damn.
And I just
Where
let the credit
was
card
the
say, "Screw you."
rationale in that?
It was just like, screw it.
That I want to clear the part up when you said you are God to yourself, because it's like you have God in you.
Right.
Is that what you're trying to say? Like God
Yeah.
is inside you and it's inside everybody?
Yeah, well, I like to think Carl Jung, the psychoanalyst Carl Jung, he has a quote that said something like, the surest way to lose your soul, and this might not be exact, but is to believe in a source outside of yourself, right? So when you're overly worshiping something else as a god, like that takes away from you with yourself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, there's like that. What's funny is like in my own like spiritual I mean, we're all like sometimes we're seeking, but when you look inward, like it's there.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
already
mean?
inside us.
Yeah.
It's already inside us. It really is.
That God essence. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of the world, not to get too off topic here, but a lot of the world is designed to take you away from that, because that's where your real power is.
Okay, dude. Okay, so we can go a little off topic. I don't care. But like, it was funny. I was talking to one of my clients actually, and he, I kind of believe in the yin and yang. You know what I mean? Like, there's like the flesh world. Like when you're like eating and like supporting your flesh, it's almost like the devil or like the yang. Whereas like when you fast and like you're becoming more spiritual and you're becoming more enlightened or whatever. And he said something that kind of tripped me out, that like the world of the physical, which is here right now, is like the world of the devil, basically, like of that, whereas we're here to try to overcome it. Is that kind of how you're feeling?
That
I hope I even said that correctly.
No, that sounds
because it's, I mean, with social media, bro.
Yeah, if you just look around, most things are not made in your best interest, right?
Food.
It seems like you're always facing a constant battle of something.
Yeah.
And there's always somebody that's trying to steal your energy or your money or whatever. It's all energy in the end.
Yeah.
So, and, most stuff, I mean, I'll be real, most stuff is weaponized to take you down and to keep you at a low vibration. So, I mean, I kind of agree with that guy a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't know the full story, but yeah, like a lot of this world here, it can also be heaven, depending on how you're living and who you're surrounded with and all that. But yeah, a lot of it is definitely dark.
Yeah. It can be.
It can be.
It can be dark.
Yeah. And it depends on where you're sending your intention and your energy to, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're participating in, what you're supporting with dollars and your time and your eyeballs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Why don't we get into that a little bit too? Because I know you personally, like you kind of have looked behind the curtain, maybe a little too far sometimes, to seeing some things in the world that are, not as pro-life. You struggle with that in your past.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, when did I start this whole thing? At least 10 years ago. Right around the check time, I really started taking a deep dive. I remember I used to hear about conspiracy stuff in like 2007, and I just thought like whatever. I didn't care. I was just working out twice a day and working my $10, $11 an hour warehouse job and taking my junior college class, and I thought I was headed to the moon. So I didn't care. It took a couple things. It took waking up more, with knowledge and just feeding my body better, and working out differently. That also raised my consciousness as well. And then I started taking a deep dive down stuff, and some of it's bullshit, but a lot of it, when you really look at and you study the corporations and the systems, it's like, wow, like this shit. I mean, the person saying the stuff might seem crazy, but if you really look at it in a non-crazy way, you start to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any specifics you want me to talk on, but because there's much different stuff, right?
No, I mean, just the overarching impact that had on your life, because I know especially in my own world of like, you know, me like figuring out life and like trying to see how things actually run. You know, I've run into like, and again, I kind of hate that word conspiratorial things, but like, you know, there's some realities that are not, like one that have accepted, I told you earlier today, is like, you know, if you want to survive in America, it's like you have to be industrious, you have to be a capitalist.
Right.
So, you know, and growing up, I feel like I was more of a, you know, especially with school, man, I feel like I almost was lied to in school. I mean, I was pretty much like, you know, they want you to go to college, right? That was like the main goal, was like go to college. Like once you go to college, you're going to get a sick job. Right. But they probably should have been teaching me how to be more liberal in the sense of like, you make money, you don't earn money. Mm-hmm. Like the earners kind of get, you know, fucked, whereas the money makers get the tax benefits, get those tax cuts. So I'm sure you've delved way deeper into that.
Yeah, I went through a stage, you know, and it was a couple years at least.
Yeah.
Where I just didn't want to participate and work for money, right?
Yeah.
And I just got so tired of it because the more you dig into the money and everything, it's just all a big game. And you know, finally I came to a point where I was like, okay, screw it. Like, you know, I'm pretty damn depressed. Like, what's the point of really hanging around, right?
Yeah.
So I started having anxiety and all kinds of crazy shit. And
because of the stuff you were learning and how it was affecting you.
It was a mixture, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was scared of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was more so, like, knowing all that and still walking around and seeing it with your eyes right there.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you try to tell somebody to help them, they call you a crazy ass.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you feel isolated in a way.
Yeah.
Right. And there are people that are awake and that know, but like when you're out there in cities and stuff, like in a job, like there's not that many people.
Yeah.
They're still that are awake right now.
Yeah.
There really isn't. There's more coming, but it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And if there are, they're still caving in to the system.
Yeah.
They're scared to like stand for what they actually are awake to, right?
Right.
So I just got depressed. I wanted to check out of capitalism and money, and I went a couple years where I wasn't earning anything. I was just living off savings.
Yeah.
I ran up my credit cards and.
Wow, really? Goddamn.
I ran them out. Yeah, I actually, it's not embarrassing because it's part of the journey. So what I did was I dusted all my credit cards up to I skyrocketed them all to the limit. I cashed them, and I just used that money to live on.
Damn.
And I just.
Where was the rationale in that?
It was just like, screw it. Like I looked into the credit card system and saw that it was all based on fraud and it's all fake money. So I was like, okay, screw it. Like, I have this now still. They could shut it off at any time. I'll use it. Right?
Damn.
So I used that.
Did you fuck up your credit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that could be fixed. I'm not worried about credit.
Okay, yeah.
Because, you know, when I buy stuff in the future, I want to buy it.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't want a loan.
I don't want a loan. Unless I absolutely need to do it, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I want to know that I earned it and I can hand it over, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, I did that. And then I just went, you know, a couple years where I really earned nothing. Like, it was like nothing, dude. And I just got used to not being attached to the money, like, go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the bills. Like, I cut my bills down to almost nothing.
Yeah.
I would stay with my sister, you know, for free. Wherever I could. I mean, I'd live on the road.
Yeah.
And then finally, I was just like, okay, well, maybe I should start trying to earn a little money and see how it feels, you know?
Yeah.
And so I did, you know, I did that, and I joined Troy in the business, and I started earning a couple $100 here and there.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like this couple $100 lasts me a while now. You know, whereas before that was, you know, literally one trip to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
It was like $300.
Yeah.
And I learned how to live on so much less. It was great. And now, you know, a couple $1,000 is like, wow, I could do a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not the same way about money. Now I'm just like, okay, you know, I'll earn what I can earn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not attached to a certain number. Like if it's $1 million, great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll do something great with that money. And I'm okay. I'm accepting it now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a lot different. Like back then, I didn't even want to train anybody. Like people would try to offer me something like to work for them. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Like kind of like literally pushing away money.
Right.
Right. But then at the same time, at the end of the day, I was still a part of the system in a way. So I was like, okay, well, you know, it's time to play it a little bit.
So learning about the system kind of fucked you up to not want to play, right?
Yeah, it made me not want to play.
I feel like that a lot.
Yeah, it really did. I was just like, wow, like this, like why can't I just go out in the woods and, you know, take some wood courses to survive? And
for someone who may not be like as you know, savvy to some of those reasons, could you give like one good example that you're just like, was a big turn off for you?
Yeah, just the, I really thought about it one day, and I was like, wow, like, all the money you get literally goes out to like barely survive if you really break it down. For most people that are alive, right now walking around working, it's like literally they're being paid, money for their energy and their life force that they're using in their job, and they're handing pretty much all of it over to barely survive. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're just paying rent and you're eating cheap food and you're driving a car, like that's barely surviving. Yeah. And I get that that's a higher quality of life than, living in like the slums or something, or, in the swamps or wherever. But it's the same thing. It's just glorified, right? It's just kind of like, it looks better on TV or like in person, it feels better. Yeah. But it's the same deal. And that just kind of got me. I was like, wow, I can't. It was just bad. Yeah. For me. Mentally. No. For me, mentally, I was like, whoa.
I 100% feel you. One of my biggest things was that, like, I realized, like, learning psychology and health, like, we don't need that much to survive. Like, besides food, shelter, and, like, social, like, we don't need that much to survive. So when I used to work and, like, try to sell people things that I knew they didn't need, that kind of fucked me up a lot. And also, like, realizing that, like, being a consumer is glorified, kind of like how you said, like you're here, if you don't have this, you need the extra thing on top of that. If you got the shoes, you need that watch to go with the shoes. And the part that really fucked me up was that, like, on top of that consumerism, our livelihood is kind of like teetering on top of that. Because if, let's say, you're like, all right, fuck shoes, fuck watches, fuck cars, let's just live bare minimum. Oh shit, none of us have jobs anymore. Like, and then now you have crazy pandemia happening at that point, Yeah. Yep. That was a big one for me, at least.
Yeah, it seems like you've had similar thoughts to what I've had in the past. Yeah. Like what you were saying. It gets better. Yeah. It does. You just got to stick through it. I stuck through it.
Yeah. Well, my big realization was, like, if I ever want to have a family, like,
exactly.
I have to, like, list out the values that I'm willing to live by, and then figure out, through the grace of God, like, how I can commoditize those in the best way possible.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, money, it's all the energy behind the money that's, the evil stuff.
Yeah. It can be evil. Yeah.
Well, like, what was getting me was the evil parts.
Yeah, of course, of course.
It could be used for good. Yeah. And now it's cool. Like, great. I'll use it for good stuff. Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't have that trouble anymore, but I did for a while, and
and you were depressed for a while.
I was kind of depressed. Yeah. I mean, I was still eating healthy. I was still exercising. Yeah. So you wouldn't know. Yeah. And I mean, I still looked healthy. I still did, Qigong every day.
Damn, I bet if you weren't fucking meditating and eating healthy, you'd be a fucking wrecking ball.
Oh, it would have been a wreck. Yeah, I used to tell my good friend Paul Skidmore all the time, like, most people would probably have killed themselves in my situation.
Damn, really?
Well, yeah. I mean, the average person, I mean, I wasn't out dating. Yeah. I wasn't out having fun and getting doped up on drugs and creating this whole false reality of happiness. I wasn't out doing anything, really. Yeah. I was just doing what I do, and I was reading a lot of books and studying and keep my mind sharp still. Yeah. And I was being depressed.
Yeah. So fuck.
I don't know what it was that just drove me to do that, but it was just always, searching for a higher level of truth and knowledge. And
but you're good now. You okay?
I'm good now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a lot way different now. Yeah.
Thank God.